Parents' Rights in Education was conceived in 2009 and became a tax-deductible nonprofit in 2011. In May of 2019, PRIE held its first soapbox event, America's Cultural Crisis. Should we stay or should we go? Author of Get Out Now was the keynote speaker. Mary Hassan's speech is featured on the PRIE website. We decided to have another soapbox, May 2nd of the following year, 2020, featuring Walt Heyer, author of Trans Life Survivors. 7 weeks beforehand, Oregon Governor Kate Brown declared a state of emergency to control the spread of the China virus. During the following year, in response to repeated emergency shutdown restrictions, PRIE rescheduled the event 4 times and changed the event venue 3. It was renamed the Northwest Safe Schools Summit, and more speakers were invited to present. The result was a day-long dive into the complex issues plaguing K-12 public schools. Because of the unrest and militant violent protests in Portland, Oregon, it was decided to move the location from the Portland airport to a venue in the suburbs. The venue owner was adamant PRIE not advertise the exact location until 24 hours in advance, so as to avoid possible negative attention caused by detractors and protesters. We are thrilled to share these videos from the first Northwest Safe Schools Summit in the hopes you will be enlightened and empowered to take action. Please watch them in order, as there is a natural progression you won't want to miss. Jennifer Heine-Withee, Director of Washington PRIE, is a wife and the mother of 3. She is also a Zumba instructor. Her youngest child is in high school. Jennifer worked in coalition with several Washington grassroots organizations fighting against the sexual indoctrination of children in public schools. Although she never intended to be in the limelight, she has been interviewed numerous times for radio and other publications, and is now expanding her state organization in many school districts. Learn how and why she has officially become an activist.
Wow. I didn't realize I was that good. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a natural-born leader. I'm just a mom. I'm a mom of 3 kids. I am married, and I'm a Zumba instructor. And honestly, I would be more comfortable having y'all stand up and teaching you a merengue than up here talking. But God has a sense of humor, and for some reason, He's called me to be the director of the Washington chapter of Parents' Rights in Education. So, we were formed 3 years ago. We were formed in order to stop the Battleground School District in Southwest Washington from adopting comprehensive sexual education and implementing a curriculum in our schools. So in 2 weeks, we only had 2 weeks notice, and we were able to get over 200 people to our school board meeting to tell the school board enough, and we do not want this. Well, the school board at that time took notice, and they took it off the agenda. We were able to keep it, thank you. So we were able to keep it out of our school district for 1.5 years, but eventually our school board broke their own policies and they passed it. Yeah, but because of our activism, we were able to affect some change in the curriculum, and we were able to influence them to adopt for a period of time an opt-in option rather than opt-out. So we were also a part of a statewide grassroots movement to stop a law mandating K-12 comprehensive sexual education to be taught in all Washington public schools. The day the governor was supposed to sign it into law, we only had 4 days' notice, and we were able to get 3,000 people to our Capitol to tell the governor not to sign that law. Yes. It's funny because that just happened to be the day that our governor shut down our entire state because of COVID. He did sign it into law, so we started a referendum. So, in the middle of a pandemic, when we were all being told to stay at home, restaurants were closed, businesses were closed, and without a single paid signature gatherer, we were able to set a state record gathering signatures on a petition for a referendum. We were supposed to gather 130,000 signatures. We got 266,000. Yes. We got it on the ballot, and then we went up against the beast. We were going up against a lot of the organizations that are a part of this whole playbook that Missy was just talking about. So some of these donors to the past Referendum 90 that wanted to get this law passed, Planned Parenthood, of course, Stand for Children, their biggest donor is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Yes. The Washington Education Association, the teachers union. NARAL Pro-Choice Washington. PFLAG, which is the Parents and Friends of Lesbian and Gays. SECUS. CARDIA. The GLSEN of Washington State. The Gender Justice League. The National Organization for Women, and those are just a few. I mean, those are just a few of the organizations that we were all up against. So unfortunately, the law was approved by voters. But I am not discouraged, because what this did was it woke up parents in Washington State in a big way. It woke up parents. And they have started to push back. So I want to tell you, in February, the King County Health, they're the organization that developed the FLASH curriculum, which stands for Family, Life, and Sexual Health. That is probably the most widely used CSE curriculum across Washington State, and it's also used nationwide. Back in February, they came out with a news flash that stated, FLASH sex education developed by King County is clinically proven to reduce teen pregnancy in a national study. I wasn't just going to blindly believe them. I wanted to see the study for myself. So the news flash did not have a link to the study. Red flag number 1. They had the name of the group who published the study, so I did a Google search, and I was taken to their website where you could only read a synopsis of the study. Red flag number 2. I read the synopsis and was thoroughly confused. I'm not a scientist. I got my degree in art. So I sent it to my very smart friend, Randall, who is here today. And he saw it and was confused and said, I need to see the study. So here's red flag number 3. To get the report, you had to pay $39.95. So I paid the $39.95. I got this report, and I sent it on to Randall, who looked at it, and then he sent it on to Irene Erickson, who is a member of the Institute for Research and Evaluation. If you have never heard of this organization, Google them, because they have a fantastic report that they have put together studying CSE curriculums and their effectiveness, and you've got to read that report. It is called the Institute for Research and Evaluation. The lady that I sent the information to, her name is Irene Erickson, and she's a member of the Institute for Research and Evaluation. So this national study, it went something like this. A group of almost 1,600 9th and 10th grade students were given a survey. They went through the Flash curriculum or another CSE program, and then were given follow-up surveys at 3 months and 12 months. They were asked questions such as, in the past 3 months, how many times have you had vaginal intercourse? If you have had vaginal sex, in the next year, do you intend to use a condom? How sure are you that you could use a condom correctly? So I was contacted by Irene about the findings, and this is what they concluded. First of all, the Flash study did not measure the program's impact on teen pregnancy or STDs, so any claims that it proves Flash reduces teen pregnancy and STDs are simply not true. Number two, the study did measure self-reported teenage sexual behavior, but found no statistically significant effects on the participant. This is clear evidence that Flash failed to demonstrate the intended behavioral effects. Number three, there was one subgroup effect, an increase in condom use for the subgroup who had not previously had sex, and then became sexually active after participating in the Flash program. But the increase in condom use was short-term and not significant beyond the 3-month follow-up. The researchers themselves stated that this short-term effect must be viewed with caution given the small sample size in this subgroup. Instead, King County presented this finding as evidence that Flash is successful. Furthermore, one may ask why this subgroup of sexually abstinent students became sexually active after participating in Flash. And number four, the study also found that Flash did not show impact on intentions to use condoms or comfort communicating with parents about sexual health. Both of these were major program goals and represent notable Flash failures. So they concluded the Flash study touted in King County's press release produced more evidence of failure than success. It is also worth noting that the cited study was conducted by employees of a company that promotes Flash. The company that produced this study is the Journal of Adolescent Medicine. They are also one of the organizations that are among this whole playbook that Missy just talked about. So if you look in any CSE curricula, among the authors and the contributors, you are going to find Planned Parenthood, the Guttmacher Institute, which is the research arm of Planned Parenthood. You're also going to find CCAS and many other organizations that are in this playbook. Washington State, they're about to pass a law creating a division in the Department of Health to offer grants to schools so they can open up a clinic on campus. We heard that, didn't we? Yep. So in this flash curriculum that's used across Washington State, they cite a condom study that leads students to believe condoms are 100% effective. Now, how do they do this? The information was based on a subgroup, again, from a study, a bigger study that was conducted by who? CPAC. So speaking of CPAC, both the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction in Washington State and Portland Public Schools are members of an organization called CPAC, which is the political arm of CPAC. And then I also want to point out that when we were fighting against CSE in Battleground, the school board, or the district came to the school board and said, hey, we've been offered a grant that will train our teachers how to teach CSE if we will adopt this flash curriculum. That organization is called CARDIA. In 2019, CARDIA and the ACLU were caught on video training teachers how to take a student out of school, take her to Planned Parenthood so she can get an abortion, and bring her back and bypass the parental notification system so she won't be counted as absent and mom and dad won't know. The web is big, but I want to leave you with some hope today. Here it is. We have something they don't, and that is an all-encompassing sacrificial love for our children. Not one single one of those people from Planned Parenthood or CPAC or CARDIA or any of those organizations, the CDC, none of them love your children like you do. We are the mama and papa bears standing up for our cubs, and you do not get between a parent bear and their cub. So, I'm going to give you some things to do. Go to our website, parentsrightsined.org, click on Join Us, and fill that out. When you do, you get on our newsletter. And you also get connected with other parents in your district who are doing the same thing and fighting for their kids. Go to your school board meetings. Run for school board, please. In Washington State, the deadline for filing is May 17th. So you still have time if you're from Washington State. Excuse me. Get to know your children's teachers and do not be afraid to confront them if they are teaching your child material you disagree with. I have done this with my kids. I have had to go above their heads sometimes to the principal, and I have had success. So do not sit back and say, oh, there's nothing I can do. You fight for your kids. Help get candidates elected who will represent parents, not the district, not the teachers union. We elect them to represent us, not the district, not the teachers union. Opt your child out of CSE. And just like Bernadette was saying, fill out or write a letter of the things that you do not want your child being taught. Have them put that into your child's permanent record, because it does set a precedence. Start a parents' rights in education group in your district. We started out with 3, 5. We grew to 7. I think when we got people to go to the school board meeting, there were 12 of us who were getting the word out, and we generated 200 people at that school board meeting. So it doesn't take a lot to start a wave. Yes. Petition your school board to not adopt critical race theory or any material from Black Lives Matter. And I just want to say, Black lives do matter. The lives of people of any color matter. But that is why we cannot support the Marxist organization Black Lives Matter. Yes. We have petitions on our website and the tools for presenting a resolution to your school district asking not to adopt any sort of critical race theory or BLM material. You can also ask your board to sign a proclamation declaring November to be Parents' Rights in Education Month. We also have those on our website, so get familiar with our website. There's a lot of tools on there for you. Keep putting the pressure on your district. You know, if everybody opts their child out of CSE, what is your district going to do? They've got a problem. So do it. And last, if at all possible, pull your kids out of public education. Get together with parents and start a homeschool pod. Homeschool your kids. There's so many resources out there now for homeschoolers, and support. Do it. You won't regret it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching the Northwest Safe Schools Summit. As you can see, attendees were informed, inspired, and motivated to take action. We partnered with several groups, including Quella Winery, Oregonians for Fair Elections, Western Liberty Network, Pacific Justice Institute, Building Education for Students Together, and KSLM Radio. We are happy you decided to learn more about the issues in K-12 public schools today. It just makes sense. Activism can be enjoyable when you are surrounded with like-minded people. And together, we win. We invite you to visit our website, parentsrightsined.org. Take a look around. There are issues pages just for our state chapters, because state laws are different. Join us. Make your voice heard. Is always best when you are with others. Submit the online chapter form. You will also be added to our email list. We help with training, information, branding, and contacts. Like us on Facebook. For the most current news, follow us, comment, and of course, share. Join a PRIE Facebook group in your state or local school district. Subscribe to the podcasts, Parents' Rights Now. These are not meant to be entertaining, but provide valuable information, catching you up on the issues quickly. Would you like to help us? Our mission is possible. We've created a great program equipping parents and citizens with the tools they need to be effective in their local school districts. Join the 12 by 12 Club, our small monthly giving program. All donations are important and appreciated, but we know that you have expenses and family obligations, especially if you're a parent. You can do the most by giving a small amount every month. Just $12 a month will go towards our operational expenses and allow PRIE to host another summit. Parents' Rights in Education is a tax-deductible 501c3 organization. Donate online or send a check to the address shown here. We are engaged in a war for the hearts and minds of our children. The left has taken control of the K-12 government school bureaucracy, using local public schools for distribution centers to change the culture. Their ultimate goal is to annihilate the constitutional republic of the United States by dismantling the nuclear family and destroying the Christian church. Your contributions are more necessary now than they have ever been.